Welcome to the session of industrial instrumentation. In this session, we will discuss about what is the importance of process variables, what is the criteria related to the process variables, and we will discuss about the concept of fluid mechanics. So, let us start the session. Introduction to process variables and fluid mechanics. So, what are process variables? As the name indicates, the variables which are related to the process. Instrumentation deals with the monitoring aspect, measurement, and the control of the process in the plants. So we have variables like flow, temperature, level, pressure. So whenever we want to measure these variables, we need to use instruments. So the instruments are used to monitor, measure and control these variables in the plant and keep them in certain safety limits. Hence, these are called as process variables. So instruments are used to monitor and control a process to keep the process within a correct limit, because we have to keep the parameters at set point conditions. The parameters are quantities that we wish to control at the correct limit are called as process variables. A variable is something that can vary or change. Because process variables can and do change, instrumentation systems measure the variables, then control the variable to keep the variable within the given limits. Hence, vital parameters like flow, temperature, level, and pressure, they are to be monitored, measured, and controlled by the systems or instruments in the plant to keep them in certain limits. Hence, process variables are to be monitored carefully so that the stability of the plant is obtained at the given rates. Now, whenever we discuss about the variables or the parameters, we need to understand about its units of operation and its corresponding conversion wherever it is required. Let us take the example of temperature. So, temperature normally we know the conventional measurements are in degrees centigrade or Fahrenheit. Sometimes we need to convert them as per our requirements so that it can be shown on the screens by conversion. So, example, you can see on the screen that there are different types of conversion formulae. We can convert degrees Fahrenheit into degrees centigrade. So, degrees Fahrenheit is equal to degrees centigrade into 9 by 5 plus 32. Again, we can convert degrees Fahrenheit into degrees centigrade, that is, degrees centigrade is equal to degrees Fahrenheit minus 32 into 5 by 9. Again, there is another unit, Rankine, that is degrees R is equal to degrees Fahrenheit plus 459.67. And the Kelvin temperature or the absolute temperature can be obtained once we know degree centigrade, that is Kelvin is equal to degree centigrade plus 273.15. So we need to go for conversion as per our requirements in the plants. Hence, these are a general conversion formulae for temperature. Similarly, we have conversion formulae for volume. So normally we know that volume will be measured in gallons, or in some cases we use fluid ounces or liters. Sometimes we need to go for other conversion factors also. So this slide will give you the information about how to convert into quarts, pins, again cubic centimeter. So these are nothing but various formulae which are used for the parameter volume. Again, what are the conversion factors for pressure? So pressure is a vital parameter in the plant. Again, we need to go for conversion. So normally we know about pascals, we know about pounds per square inch, we know about bars. So these are nothing but various kinds of convection factors for pressure, either gauge pressure or absolute pressure. That's how we can go for easy conversion once we know the conversion factors. Again, the conversion factors for pressure, absolute pressures, that is one standard atmospheric pressure is equal to 760 millimeters of mercury or 76 centimeters of mercury, 760 torr, or we can go for bar absolute, again pounds per square inch psi. So these are all the conversion factors related to the pressure. Now, coming to the terrestrial constants, these are the constants which we come across during the course of calculations, or whenever we want to substitute these values, we need to know what are the terrestrial constants which are frequently used in our calculations. That is acceleration of gravity at sea level, that is 9.8 meters per second, that is meters per second square. Again, a frequent terrestrial constant is atmospheric pressure. Just now we have discussed, that is 760 millimeters of mercury or 76 centimeters of mercury. So these are all known as terrestrial constants which we come across in our industrial environments. Again, we also know about what are the atmospheric gas concentrations. Normally, the well-known atmospheric gas concentration is nitrogen is equal to 78.08%, oxygen is 20.946%, which we normally use. Again, we are having hydrogen 0.5 ppm. So these are all gas concentrations which we come across in calculations. Again, so whenever we go for process plants, we need to understand what are the properties of water which we use as a fluid. So we know the freezing point of water is 0 degrees centigrade or 32 degrees Fahrenheit. We know about boiling point of water at 100 degrees centigrade or 212 degrees Fahrenheit. We know about its viscosity, specific heat. So these are the properties of water which we use in process plants. Now let us go to the concept of fluid mechanics. Fluid mechanics deals with the behavior of fluids at rest and in motion. So what exactly the definition of a fluid is? A fluid is a substance that deforms continuously under the application of stress, no matter how small the stress may be. That means we can say that a fluid is a substance that cannot sustain a shear stress when at rest. So it will have a change whenever there is a stress. So that is known as the fluid. Now, what exactly the fluid mechanics says? Fluids are composed of molecules. However, we talk about the macroscopic effect of molecules. That means we treat the fluid as an infinitely divisible substance. The concept of continuum is the basis of classical fluid mechanics. However, it breaks down whenever the mean free path of the molecules become the same order of magnitude as the smallest significant characteristic dimension of the problem. That means we can say that the fluids are susceptible to pressure and they deform whenever a small stress is applied. Now, how this is being used for the creation of a power systems? So, any media, that means it may be a liquid or gas that flows naturally or can be forced to flow, could be used to transmit energy in a fluid power system. That means fluids, either liquid or the gas, can be used to generate power. The earliest fluid used was water, hence hydraulics was applied to systems using liquids. In modern terminology, hydraulics implies a circuit using mineral oil. So, a pressure hydraulic power system means a pressure will be created by the liquid so that a power is produced. Now, let us discuss a small application of a basic hydraulic power unit. So, as I said earlier, hydraulic means we are using water. The other common fluid in fluid power circuits is compressed air. That means we can also use compressed air to generate pressure, and this can be used to generate power. Hence, this is a small power unit for a hydraulic system. We can see in the diagram. We are having a tank, pump, and a motor. Now, this is an example for basic pneumatic power arrangement. Pneuma means air. That means atmospheric air compressed 7 to 10 times is available and easily flows through the pipes to transmit energy to do work. So we can use atmospheric air to transmit energy to do work. So this will be used as a pneumatic power arrangement. That means air is used which will transmit energy to do work. So this is a small example for pneumatic power arrangement. Now let us move on to the Pascal's law. The reason fluids can transmit energy is first stated by Pascal. So Pascal is one of the person who told about the concept of fluid power. This law says pressure in a confined body of fluid acts equally in all directions and at right angles to the containing surfaces. So this is the basic law of fluid power which was stated by Blaise Pascal. So let us take a small example how Pascal's law affects a cylinder. So this is a small cylinder applications which is affected by the Pascal's law. So as you see in the diagram, oil from a pump flows into a cylinder that is lifting a load. You can see on the diagram, oil from a pump flows into a cylinder that is lifting a load. The resistance of the load causes pressure to build inside the cylinder until the load starts moving. While the load is in motion, pressure in the entire circuit stays nearly constant. The pressurized oil is trying to get out of the pump, pipe, and cylinder, but these mechanisms are strong enough to contain the fluid. Hence, when the pressure against the piston area becomes high enough to overcome the load resistance, the oil forces the load to move upward direction. So this is the basic principles of fluid power, where it will lift the load in upward direction. The load cannot move the fluid in opposite direction, but instead of that, the load itself move in upward direction due to the pressure against the piston area. This will create a more pressure and it will lift the load in upward direction but not in downward direction. So this is how Pascal's law is applicable in a small cylinder application. So from the above application of a cylinder, two important things can be observed. First, the pump did not make any pressure, it only produced the flow. Pump never make pressure, they can only give flow. Resistance to the pump flow causes pressure. This is one of the basic principles of fluid power that is of prime importance to troubleshooting hydraulic circuits. That means the flow will not make pressure, but the resistance to the pump flow causes the pressure which will move the load in upward direction. This is the inherent principles of fluid power which we have studied by the example of Pascal's law. So, in this session, we have discussed about what are process variables, what are the conversion factors of various variables like pressure, volume, temperature, what are terrestrial constants, what are the properties of water. We have studied the introduction to fluid mechanics, what is meant by power generation by using pneumatic principle and hydraulic system. Again, what is Pascal's law and its application. So this is a brief session on these concepts. Thank you.